everyone, it's Caitlin and welcome to another video. In this video, I'm going to be giving you a tour of my vegan pantry. As you guys know, I am a vegan and I try to eat a pretty healthy diet. I've kind of been focusing on buying less. I think it can be really easy to get caught up in a lot of different food trends and buying all these crazy powders and supplements and stuff. And while all those can be great and fun, and I do still buy some of them, as you guys will see, I think it can get really overwhelming, and sometimes it can get to the point where you have so much crap and you're like not even eating it, and then it goes bad. So I have been trying to cut back and really only keep items in my pantry that I use on a daily basis or I know I'm going to use with time. I still stock up if things go on sale and things like that. And another thing that I have been trying to do is cut down on my plastic and my waste in general. So I do try to utilize some bulk bins, or I'll buy items in glass instead of single-use plastic. I'm just doing the best that I can. Obviously, this is not a completely zero waste haul, and I'm not trying to promote that either, but I just think being conscious about those choices is really important as well. A final disclaimer is that this is my full-time job, not just YouTube itself, but I am a recipe developer and food photographer. So sometimes I work with brands and they send me snacks. My pantry is probably more well-stocked than the average vegan, though I do think that this could still give you inspiration for some pantry staples you may want to include in your pantry as well. And before we get into it, I also want to mention that this video is proudly sponsored by Thrive Market today. As you guys know, I work with Thrive Market on a regular basis, and they are my favorite online health food store-ish retailers. I use them for a large chunk of all my non-perishable groceries, and I love that they're shipped directly to my door. And if you've been to a natural market or health food store, you know that sometimes their prices can get pretty pricey. So it's nice that I can get everything all at once at Thrive Market, and I know I'm saving money as well. So a lot of my pantry staples I get from Thrive Market. You'll see their name brand stuff in a lot of my pantry, and you'll also see some other brand items from other companies that I love and trust that Thrive Market sells that I purchased on Thrive Market as well. So if you guys live in the US and you want to try out Thrive, you can click the link in the description of the video and you'll get a free 30-day trial as well as an additional 25% off of your first purchase. So go ahead and check it out. And another fun thing is that now I have a favorites page on the Thrive Market website. So if you want to see all my favorite products or the products that I order the most regularly through Thrive, you can also click that link in the description below and check out my favorite items and the ones that I recommend the most. So without further ado, let's just get into the tour. I actually have two pantries, which is kind of weird, but we have a lot of cabinets in our kitchen, so it is divided. So I have some stuff up in this cabinet over here, and then I have some stuff in the pantry over there. So I'm going to take you through both of them. One other final disclaimer is that I do have roommates, so I'm only going to be showing you my food. I'm not going to be showing you their food, but let's get into it. So here are my three shelves. I'm about to take you through them, but I just want to say I do keep some bowls for like produce and stuff out on the counter as well. I guess that counts as part of my pantry, even though it's perishable. I really don't have that much right now. Usually in this bowl, I'll have some fruit, and I keep my onions and garlic in this bowl. And today I have a plantain that really needs to be cooked. And then back here, I have my potatoes. And I heard you're supposed to keep your potatoes separately from your onions and garlic, but I typically always have potatoes and onions and garlic in my pantry. And yeah, and I also have a random bottle of olive oil that didn't fit in my pantry shelves. It's too tall. My recipes are oil-free, but sometimes I do freelance work with other companies and they want me to use oil, and sometimes just for baking purposes I need to grease a pan, more like photography purposes than the actual recipe itself. So that's why I actually do still keep some oil on hand. But let's get into these shelves. I'll start with the bottom and we'll work our way up to the top. Hi, I'm still here, but I think the easiest way to do this is just to show you the shelf and walk you guys through it. This bottom shelf is pretty basic. It's things that I use on a more consistent basis, I guess. So I have all my like vitamins over here. Honestly, I'm not going to go through them because I think that everyone needs to see their own healthcare professional and determine what vitamins they need. But ones that I think every vegan should have are B12 and D3. You should just get tested for that because a lot of people are D3 deficient. This is probably really zoomed in on my face right now. And another thing that you probably want to check out is a vegan alternative to DHA and EPA. This is the one that I use. You can look it up why. But anyways, these are all of my vitaminas. And then I have some random CBD gummies over here that are really good and they taste like gumdrops. And then in this corner here, I keep all of my nut butter. So I have pretty much every nut butter under the sun. I got some almond butter, That's another almond butter, but this one's fancier, so I like to save it for special occasions. Got some cashew butter. I have some peanut butter. This is more for photography purposes. That's why I have it in like a glass jar. Some chocolate peanut butter, and then I also have some date syrup down here. Then over here in this corner, I have some various nuts and seeds. I like to keep my stuff in glass so I can see it. And I usually also buy it in bulk and then just put it in glass afterwards. So I have some Brazil nuts. These are some slivered almonds, some walnuts, pumpkin seeds. I have 2 types of chia seeds. I just need to finish up the white ones before I move into the black ones. And then this is some coconut. This is actually some cacao nibs from an ice cream store in Portland that I like to save and put on my yogurt and stuff. And then I have a little bit of pecans and some cacao nibs. And then over here I have some more random items that are I guess more for food photography purposes. First I got the nooch, which is like vegan crack. I actually do like to buy this in bulk. I think it's cheaper. But then here I have like some walnut oil. I use this for my cutting boards. Again, I do have some avocado oil cooking spray just in case I do need to grease a pan or I'm doing some photography work. And then I also have a box of these Maldon sea salt flakes. These are really expensive. I only use them for photography purposes for special occasions. Got some maca powder, which I do like. It's good for like balancing your hormones and it can kind of taste like caramel. And then that's some beet powder back there. That's some carrot powder. This is a wheatgrass powder that sometimes I'll put in smoothies and stuff. And then this is just cacao powder, which I would say I would use the most frequently for like brownies and smoothies and things like that. So that's it for the first shelf. And the second shelf kind of has like this stuff that I don't use as often and the things that I'd say are more superfoody based that I don't necessarily think are essential to a vegan diet. Over here I have some green tea. I used to make my own kombucha, but I really don't anymore, so I just drink this occasionally. Here I have some superfood powders. I do drink these pretty frequently. So I really like the Amazing Grass stuff. I just have some seasonal flavors right now. And then here I have some protein powder. I really like the Amazing Grass protein powder. I just have like 1 scoop left of this pumpkin spice. But this is my all-time favorite vegan protein powder, the chocolate peanut butter by Amazing Grass. I really like their stuff, and you can get it on Thrive Market. Then over here I have a bunch of different like random superfoods. Honestly, this company, Mood Belly, sent me a bunch of these powders, and I do really like them. And I use them occasionally in like lattes or elixirs and things like that. But again, I don't think they're necessarily essential. And then I have some sun potion stuff. I actually bought all these with my own money. They didn't send me anything on Thrive Market because they were really trendy for a while, and I kind of wanted to try them out. And I like them, but again, you know, broccoli and raspberries are superfoods too, so you do you and what you can afford. And then for the rest of the shelf, this is stuff that I use a little bit more frequently. I do like to drink tea. I'm much more of a tea person than a coffee person, though I still do drink coffee. But I like to buy my tea in bulk, and I really love this company, Rishi Tea. This is my all-time favorite tea. It's their turmeric ginger tea. I haven't bought tea bags in a really long time because I'm trying to reduce my waste, but I've been trying to go through the ones that I have. So this is like one of the final boxes that I have. It's a ginger tea, and I have some Earl Grey. And then I also have some of this tea chino, which is like a coffee alternative. I really don't drink this very often. I bought it a long time ago. I should just drink it up to get rid of it. And then this corner is all of my Four Sigmatic products. I do really love Four Sigmatic products. I think they're doing a really good job with making mushrooms more accessible to people. Their products are still expensive because they are mushrooms, but I think like relatively wise, they can be pretty affordable. I don't use these every day, obviously, but I do still use them every once in a while, and I would recommend them. And the top shelf is too high for me to use my tripod to hold. And this is basically items that I don't use every day. I typically just have like a bunch of different dried beans and grains up here in glass jars. So I have some lentils, that's some like white beans in that bag up there, some chickpeas, red lentils, pinto beans. This is some corn because every once in a while I like to make popcorn or something. Black eyed peas, that's some brown rice pasta that I got in the bulk bin. These are broccoli seeds. They're good for sprouting. And this is a mix of pumpkin seeds and sunflower seeds that I've been meaning to use in a recipe, but I haven't had time to make the recipe yet. Then I just have a glass jar full of reusable straws, and there's nothing behind these. I just use it for storage for like extra glass jars. And just quickly, I'm going to show you the spice cabinet, but I share the spice cabinet, and remember, I'm a food blogger, so I don't think you need to have a spice cabinet this crazy. This half is pretty much stuff that's mine. I'm not going to go through everyone, but in general, I say I try to buy organic spices, and I do often buy them on Thrive Market. Here we have a bunch of different cooking vinegars. Actually, most of this is not mine. We actually just got the shelf replaced today, so I was going through, and pretty much this stuff is mine. So I'll use apple cider vinegar. Mine's actually up there. And then I have some vinegar samples, liquid smoke, agave, ume plum vinegar, rice vinegar, and red wine vinegar. And that's all that I really have up there, though I do use some of my roommate's stuff every once in a while. Okay, so we just moved from the kitchen to my pantry, and again, I would say I probably have this much food mostly because of my job, though I will say I do use some of these things in my everyday life, but definitely wouldn't have that much if I wasn't a full-time food blogger. I have this upper shelf here and this lower shelf here, as well as some bins on the bottom. It is like kind of small in here, so I'm gonna just carry the camera around and briefly walk you through. All of this stuff I basically use for baking items or are my nuts and seeds. So I have some nut butters over here, just like extra overflow of stuff that doesn't fit in my pantry. And then I have nuts and seeds. Actually, I like to organize my seeds on this side and my nuts here. But I have like pretty much every nut under the sun. I got some almonds, some cashews, some Brazil nuts, macadamia nuts, pine nuts. The seeds, I got pumpkin seed, chia seeds, and I think some coconut nuts. So I use oats a lot in baking. I just buy them in bulk and then put them in a Ziploc bag. And then I also have some buckwheat groats, some steel cut oats back there, and I think I might also have some quinoa flakes. Here is my fruit, so dried fruit. So I have medjool dates. I use these a lot in baking or as like a refined sugar-free alternative. Some cherries that I got in like a gift basket. And then I have some like mulberries and some dried mango. Here is all different sugars. I mostly use coconut sugar in baking, and I do like to stock up on it when I place an order, so that's why I have a lot. I have quite a few containers of it right now. And then honestly, the rest of the sugars I don't use, but I have used in past recipes. So I have some raw cane sugar, and I think there's some brown sugar down there. And then over here is all my gluten-free flours. I recently reduced a lot because I really don't use that much in baking. This is just brown rice flour. Again, I like to buy it in bulk. I have some almond flour, and then I have some starches. So I have tapioca. For some reason I have 2 open bags. This is some sprouted garbanzo bean flour, arrowroot powder, 1-to-1 gluten-free flour blend that I do use every once in a while. That's some nooch, some psyllium husks. That's some xanthan gum, which I hardly ever use. And then I think back there I just have some gluten-free breadcrumbs. This corner over here, I call it like my snack shelf. So I have a lot of snacks and I guess more like snacky things that I like to eat. This is like baking chocolate, and I have some marshmallows that I'll use for work for recipes. These are some Red bars. They're my favorite vegan snack energy bar. And then this is my very, very sad admission to the fact that I have a chocolate addiction problem, and I probably have like 20 bars of chocolate. And this is just for personal life. This is not for work. But every time I like place an online order, I'm like, oh, I'll just buy some chocolate bars. But I have been working my way through these guys, and I am going to eat them all, but as you can see, I have quite the chocolate stash. I've got some Coconut Crunch roasted cashews. I actually got these on Thrive Market as like a free gift with my last order. And then I like these brahmi beans as a snack every once in a while. They're just like lupini beans. Some cocoa melts. They're vegan caramel. And this is my all-time favorite granola from Thrive Market. I always have at least one of these in my pantry. It's the vanilla cinnamon flavor. And then I recently discovered these pumpkin seed bites. They're not really sweet, but they're like subtly sweet. So they're really like fun cracker to have. So I stocked up on some on the last order I placed on Thrive Market. And then there's also some more chocolate hiding back there. The lower shelf is more my savory food items. At least that's how I mentally divide it in my mind. So here I just have a ton of tomato products. I like to stock up because I use these in recipes pretty frequently. Just like fire roasted tomatoes, diced tomatoes, got some tomato paste, got some crushed tomatoes back there. And then here I have a bunch of varieties of gluten-free pasta. Bonza is definitely my favorite, and as you can see I have quite a lot of it. And these are just some random ones that other companies have sent me. And then in this section here, I have coconut milk products. So I got some coconut cream. I really like this brand. I think that their quality is really good and consistent. These are random things of seaweed. I honestly really don't like seaweed, but I use it occasionally in recipes. This section here is like my cooking grains. There's a kind of pole in the way. This is some popcorn rice that I just got in New Orleans. But then I just have a little bag of quinoa. And then this is my favorite brown rice. It's pretty much the only brown rice I buy. It's the short grain brown rice. It's on Thrive Market, and I really like that brand as well. This is a giant jar of some black rice. I just got some nudes over here. Got some gluten-free ramen noodles. and some brown rice pad thai noodles. They're from the brand Lotus Foods. This section here is like more snacky, crunchy type things. I just have some crackers. These are just rice crackers, so they're kind of boring. I got some Jill's Gums crackers. Neither of those are open, but sometimes I'll just get in a snacky mood / craving. And as you can see, I have a plethora of tortilla chips from Siete Foods. They're grain-free tortilla chips. I just think they taste really delicious and they're crunchy and yummy. The lime one is definitely my favorite flavor. But the nacho ones are really good too. And if you can get your hands on these Fuego ones, they're pretty great as well. Back corner, I have some random cans. I like to buy all of my beans in bulk and cook them from dry, but I do have like an emergency can of black beans in case I get really hangry and just want to eat something. And then back there, it's kind of dark, but you can see I have some canned jackfruit. And then I also have some cans of pumpkin and a random thing of silken tofu. And again, that's more for work / baking purposes. And then this shelf is like kind of disorganized. I don't know. There's just some random superfood powders that I just don't have in my regular pantry because I don't use them very often. These are some different spices that I bought when I was in Israel, actually, those 3. And then the rest of the stuff is like random. So there's like extra supplements or vitamins that I've bought like a long time ago and haven't used that are probably expired. I got some extra maple syrup, some cinnamon, some fancy balsamic vinegar, some applesauce. I use that for baking. Leftover like extra coffee, some coconut oil, and then some vegan sprinkles and like muffin tin liners. And then I do have some bins down here as well. This is just like extra protein powder. I have a lot of Amazing Grass stuff because I do work with them, but I do really like their product. So the thing is kind of random. It's like extra tahini because I bought a lot when I went to Israel. And there's also like protein powder and greens powder things. I don't like to really buy the single serving ones, but I have been given some in gift bags and stuff, so I save them for when I'm traveling just because I think it's easier. But then I do have this bin in here. I'm not going to pull it out, but it's basically just leftovers of extra nuts and seeds or like a random vanilla extract of pantry things that I have up here, but I just don't need 2 of in the same spot. So that is it for my pantry tour. I've definitely reduced a lot, even though that may seem like it's a lot of food, and I would like to cut down even more. And I definitely don't think you have to have a million different things in order to have a healthy and well-stocked vegan pantry. If you just stuck to staples like rice and beans and tomatoes and like pasta and like a bag of chips that you wanted, I think you'd be pretty good. Well, I mean, you also need some chocolate, but definitely not as much chocolate as me. But anyways, that was that. I hope you guys found it helpful. I could do a fridge tour at some point if you're interested, so leave a comment down below and let me know if you'd like to see that. And if you like this video, as always, be sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel if you want. I post 1 to 2 new videos every single week. Also, don't forget to check out my links to Thrive Market for the awesome deal. And yeah, have a great day. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.